All right, give me one free agent not on the 49ers that you think should be their priority to sign this offseason. Last year it was Travarius Ward. That was their priority signing. I gave him, 15, 16 million a year? Big deal. Who do you think it should be this year?
All right. Well, I've already stated that I think the way to beat Kansas City is to have dynamic defensive players who have speed and play fast on all three levels of your defense. So let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, that Armstead and Bosa give you that up front, that Warner and Greenlaw give you that on the second level. I'm looking for an impact guy in my secondary who is, can run and hit and make a huge impact in my secondary. And I'm taking CJ Gardner-Johnson away from the Eagles. That's the guy that I want. He can play the slot corner. He can play free safety. You have injuries, and guess what? You do have injuries. It's football. You can move that guy around. He can literally, he's like Jimmy Ward. He seriously is Jimmy Ward. He can play every spot in the secondary. He's a dog. The guy shows up. You saw that hit on Isaiah Pacheco. That was like Ronnie Lott against Ickey Woods. For those of you who are too young to have seen Ronnie Lott blow up Ickey Woods in Super Bowl 23, you saw it last night. That was it. It was CJ Gardner-Johnson on Isaiah Pacheco. He starched him. That's the guy they need. Bring back Jimmy Ward and go get that guy. And now you've got two alphas in your secondary who can run and hit and cover and set a tone. And that's what they need. They're a little, I like their secondary. I don't see animals back there. Just absolute guys who are just beasts who are just killers. They don't have killers. And CJ Gardner-Johnson's a killer. And so is Jimmy Ward. So that's what I want. I want Jimmy Ward back off the free agent list, and I want CJ Gardner-Johnson. Let one of them play free. Let one of them play the slot. Figure it out. And that's where I'm going. That's where I'm spending my money.
I like it. I like it very much. I'm focused on offensive line, though. We've been talking about defense being a little overrated. And I think the Niners, I'm looking at the offensive lineman here. I like Caleb McGarry. I think if the Niners could sign a big-time offensive tackle, they should do it. The only question is, can they afford it? They already have the most expensive offensive lineman in the league. Can they afford another high-priced offensive tackle, or do they have to splurge at another position? Because earlier in the show, we both agreed they could really use another very good player at one of those three spots: center, right guard, right tackle. They don't currently have that guy. So I don't care which one. But if they could get a guy at one of those spots, Caleb McGarry, is Jason Kelce going to be a free agent? Does he want to play for the 49ers? Could you do something like you got Alex Mack for a year? Could you get someone? Go get Jason Kelce. How about that?
I'll say
Why
this,
not?
though.
It looks like he's still got something in the tank.
I don't know if he's loyal to
Is he loyal to Philly or is he loyal to the Benjamins?
Yeah.
Them Blueface hundreds.
The only thing I'll say is Andrew Wiley, who just totally dominated in this game, was an undrafted guy. You did last year. Sure. You made it to the NFC Championship game, and you had Tom Compton and Dan Brunskill on the right side of your line. So I am a believer.
They folded in the fourth quarter, though.
They did. They folded. And maybe they're not good enough. Yeah. But maybe. Yeah. I'm just saying. And you do have some internal options as well. You do. Where is Nick Zakelj going to play? Where's Jalen? Is Jalen Moore a starter? Can Spencer Burford kick to right tackle?
That's a possibility.
Sifo, Chris Forster believe that Burford's a right tackle. Then there's also what's the upside of Colton McKivitz? Can Colton McKivitz be a starting right tackle? Can Colton McKivitz be Andrew Wiley? That's what I'm saying. To me, is there a huge difference between Andrew Wiley and Colton McKivitz? I don't know.
Again, to your point, that you said three really good offensive linemen. The Chiefs this year had three. They had Orlando Brown, Tooney, however you pronounce his name, and Creed Humphrey. Yeah, three elite offensive linemen. I don't know if you call Orlando Brown elite. He's also a free agent.
Well, he's a free agent. He supposedly, according to my buddy who's a Chiefs fan, he said he had kind of a lousy year, but they call him Zeus.
PFF had him at 75, which is okay.
Yeah.
It's better than anyone else in the Niners. 75 would have been the second best on the Niners. Not that I'm a huge PFF guy or anything.
Right. PFF on the O-line, I'll defer to them to some degree
Yeah.
because they're watching it closer than I am. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. Sometimes those grades don't make sense to me. I definitely think the Niners need to upgrade the offensive line, but I also think they've got some, unlike going into last year where they had very little quality depth. I think they do have some quality depth. I like Sakel, I like Poe, I like Moore,
I like their depth.
I like
I like their
McKivitz,
depth.
and some combination of those guys can still be on this roster, in my
Sure.
opinion. But
Yeah.
they need a monster. They either need a monster right tackle or a center who's just, you know, gives you a lot more power. I like Brendel. I think he's smart and I think he's quick, but
Free agent.
he's a free
Free
agent.
agent.
He was a Pro Bowl alternate.
It's gonna make some money.
O line players we've talked about many times. Grant really bad around the league. I think McGlinchey and Brendel get priced beyond what Parag and the Niners want to pay, and I think they're both walking.